Yo, it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we're back in the World of Boridil, the adventures in Boridil today. We only have 3 of the 5 players, unfortunately, so I don't know exactly where today's session is going to take us. I have a couple routes in mind that I would like the party to get to, but I guess we'll find out if they get. Oh, excuse me, I'm burping. I guess we'll find out if they get there or not. Should be fun though, either way. So hopefully, you guys enjoy. We'll see if there's a TPK, yeah. Alright. So when we last left our heroes, you guys were trying to help Snoopy out by going to the northeastern portion of the Twisted Wood to find essentially a corrupted dryad that was turned into what is known as a spriggan. They are an evil version of the dryad, much more powerful because they allow the corruption to fuel their hatred. And what Opal had told you is typically these spriggans come out if some sort of force takes away their tree, or their grove, or something that they're protecting, because essentially dryads, they live within the trees themselves, like they are a part of the tree. So when someone takes that away from them but they still live, it kind of like takes away their purpose in life or something like that. So the spriggan had popped out because of what Titania has been doing, and it kind of aligns with a couple of your goals as a group, but mainly Snoopy is interested in obtaining the heart of this creature so that he can bring it back to Opal and get some cool ass loot. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
guys, you guys make your way up there, not really coming into any sort of contact with anything until you get to this portion of the forest. It's a lot darker. It's a lot more. It's got this essence of evil and corruption. The trees are sort of. They're not as like lively. They're sort of wilted at the bark. The vines have thorns on them instead of colorful leaves and flowers and stuff like that. Things like that are going on, and eventually the forest itself tries to keep you from going further into it by attacking with the vines. They did end up snagging Saberwolf. They missed the rest of you, but you guys were able to sort of like cut them down and stuff like that. And now that you guys were sort of on guard, you were able to spot when the vines started to essentially awaken to fight you guys, and were able to avoid those areas, which was really good. Good work. Then you guys got to the open grove that the Spriggan is essentially protecting. And when you got there, you noticed that she was digging a hole, and she had placed something in the hole. And as she was starting to cover up the hole with the dirt, you heard crying of some sort of baby. You couldn't see the baby, but you definitely know what a baby sounds like when they're crying. Then the Spriggan went and clawed into a couple of the trees surrounding the grove, which essentially turned them into awakened trees to sort of protect the grove with the Spriggan. A couple of snapped twigs and terrible stealth rolls later, the Spriggan was on to you guys and let out a howl, and battle began. The Spriggan ended up taking its magic and transforming itself into what looked to be the bark of a willow tree, which then turned it invisible. You guys could not tell where the Spriggan was or where it was going. The only way you knew the Spriggan was still around was when it would attack you from range, and you just all of a sudden a hail of thorns out of nowhere. So you could kind of guess where the Spriggan was, but you guys had other matters to attend to. Then these mandrake roots started to burrow their way out of these holes, and they would let out this menacing shriek that ended up stunning you guys a couple times and ended up knocking Snoopy like clean out for a couple rounds. But ultimately, you guys were able to defeat the two trees. You were able to defeat the mandrake roots that were around, and then when the Spriggan saw that all its defenses were down, it came back out of its invisibility, and you watched as its bark had shifted into that of an oak tree, which was a lot more firm, a lot harder than most trees are, making it a little harder to hit, but ultimately you were able to bring it down, but barely. As you guys started to get knocked out, and your life was just dwindling in front of you, I forget who got the killing blow. Was it Balrin or was it Snoopy? I remember it was like there was a reaction. There was a reaction that took place. No, it was the moonbeam.
Yeah, moonbeam.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was me. Yeah.
The moonbeam, along with Snoopy's final attack against it, was enough to finally kill the thing. Which it is the Spriggan wilted, and Snoopy could see sort of like where this thorny cage, and within it, where there was this green glowing. It kind of looked like a seed, but he could tell that this was the Spriggan's heart that he needed. So he was able to use his dagger to essentially cut away all the thorns and vines and get get the heart that he needed. And that is where we will begin our session. Is essentially after you guys kind of taking a short rest, I believe it was.
Like a long rest.
Was it a long rest out in the middle of the forest?
Yeah.
Is that what y'all are at? Well, we'll start with you guys at that part of the session where you guys were just talking.
Okay.
So yeah, Vikavor and Balrin, I guess before you guys go into a long rest, I don't think Vikavor has anything to like help out with doing long rest stuff. What spells do you know? He knows Fireball. Okay.
Crown of Madness, isn't that one of his?
I don't think he has it, actually. I don't think
Well, he
chose it,
should.
I should say. Yeah, he didn't choose it.
Oh, we can
So
look
as you
at
guys-
his sheet, can't? Nope. Just his
You can
bio.
look at his character, like portrait and stuff like that, and a bio
not-
if he ever puts anything in there. I guess I should rephrase that, if any of you ever put anything in there.
I mean,
It's not required. It's mainly
Bro,
for
all my
voted
stuff
players.
is typed out
Where?
on my phone. In my notes.
See, yeah.
I mean, I have a whole arc of story on mine, so.
So yeah, the Spriggan is dead. The mandrake roots all dug themselves back deep into the ground. The awakened trees are gone. The burning trees up in the northwestern portion has since, subsided. And you guys are sitting around your campfire, just kind of talking it out. Is there anything that you do before the night takes you? Is anybody taking a watch or anything like that?
I'll take a watch.
Okay. Snoopy, how do you feel about getting that heart for your creature that you're getting ready to create?
I am so excited to get a Goopy Snoopy.
Yes, I can't wait for us to use him in combat at some
Yeah.
point in the future.
Combat or sneaking around, thieving.
Exactly. Okay, since you're
Alright.
taking rest, since you're taking a watch, I guess we can rotate. I'll go next after you, and whoever else wants to take over after me.
Balrin raises his hand and says, I just have to charge for a little bit, but it only takes about 4 hours. And then after that, I can stay up for the other 4 to help out.
Alright. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Snoopy, you know what to do. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Alright. And then I go up against wait. Is this tree right here?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Alright, well, okay. I go over towards this tree and lean up against it. And squat
Okay.
down. And to close my eyes for a bit. Inhuman.
Vicavor,
Brady?
oh, what's up?
Do I not have control of my thing? Because I'm clicking on it, it's
Should.
not doing anything.
Let me take a look. Hold on. Why is your sheet not popping up for me? Give me a sec. Here, try moving that one.
No, it's not working.
How's your cursor looking? Is it on the mouse pointer?
Yep. Oh,
Give
there
me
it
a
goes.
sec.
There it goes. I'm good now. I can move it.
Yeah, for some reason your token got reset, so it didn't represent your character. I'm changing that now, though.
Nice.
I don't know what happened to your sheet. That is the weirdest thing. I've never seen that before. In all my time of Roll20.
Wink, wink.
Alright. So Saberwolf gets cozy against a tree, leans back, and starts to go into a rest. Vicavor, he casts his minor illusion to make it look like he's got a really nice bed, and he's like, "Yeah, this'll do. If you guys need me, just wake me up. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to use these bushes for some warmth." And as he lays down, you see his fingers sort of light up, and there's like this flame that floats above his face as he starts to fall asleep.
Just the
Because he
flame.
catches all the other trees on fire.
That flame runs his life.
Sweet dreams, you little pyro. And he smacks the back of his head. Ow. Balrin sort of gets close to another tree, and he powers down, but you can see his eyes are still sort of like faintly glowing as he remains somewhat alert. What about Quinn and Snoopy?
Oh, Snoop patrolling.
Okay. I'm gonna sit like cross-legged with my staff in my hand and just kind of nod off a little bit.
Okay. Alright, so while everybody is asleep, Snoopy, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Where are you? Nope, not persuasion, perception. And we're on a hot start with a 4.
So Snoopy, as you're like going around and like sort of like marching the perimeter and patrolling and stuff like that, you're sniffing around, and occasionally you hear something and you kind of perk up. One of your ears, the floppy ears, like lifts up just a little bit so you can try to hear better, and then you start sniffing around that area. But ultimately, you're not really picking anything up.
I guess it's a 17 then, right?
Yeah, until the last portion of your watch. as you're just about eh, 20 minutes away from waking Saberwolf up. You can hear um, what sounds like marching happening to the north.
Does it sound like it's coming closer?
Mm,
How's the Doppler effect?
it
Is it
sounds like when you
getting
first
higher
pick it up,
pitched?
it's more in the northeastern portion of this little grove that you hear it, and it's pretty far away. But it does end up getting closer faintly, and you kind of like start to sniff around that area to see if you can smell anything or see anything. But then it starts to get fainter as it inevitably leaves about 5 minutes later towards the northwest.
Okay. Good to know. To the northwest.
And with that, you end up going over to Saberwolf and waking him up for his portion of the watch.
Hey, Saberwolf. I heard some marching, so be careful of that. I think it must be the Titanian soldiers.
Stretch and revert back to lichen form. Marching up north.
A wild
Mhm.
splinter appears. Hi, puppy.
Brady, have you seen the pictures of Charlie?
Yes, he is cute. Or she.
Yes.
Up,
She
come
is.
here.
He's in my
Can't wait
lap
to.
playing D&D with me.
That's tight. I can't wait to meet your dog.
She's a sweetie. Just a puppy, trying to bite everything. Yep, she's going
As
for my
puppies
mic right now.
He needs that little one.
Hey, no.
Okay, so
We were relaxed just a second ago.
continue,
Alright.
Saberwolf.
You said marching to the north. Interesting. How long has it been like that?
It was like 20 minutes ago. Can we still hear it?
No.
It was like 20 minutes ago. It sounded like they were going from east to west.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out and an ear out. Get your rest, buddy.
I go over near Quinn, and then I walk around in a circle for like it feels like 10 minutes, and then finally plop down.
Okay. Snoopy does what dogs do and walks around in a circle clockwise and then counterclockwise and then clockwise again and then up and down, left and right, and then finally like curls up close to Quinn. Um, obviously Quinn's I guess nature or aspect of nature is comforting to Snoopy. So Saberwolf, for your watch, if you could give me a perception check. Okay. So with your limited vision at nighttime, as you're looking around like nothing seems out of the ordinary, you sniff around the air, see if anything comes up of those of that marching that was happening. You continue sort of surveying the north sector, trying to listen for anything, but nothing comes up. One thing you do notice, though, is as you're making your rounds, you start to see the trees are starting to, I guess, they're clearing up. You could tell that something was different about this whole portion of the forest. The trees were different from the rest of it, probably because of the evil Spriggan. It's, sheer nature was able to corrupt the trees around it. So what you're seeing is essentially the corruption is already starting to be fought back and brought back to normal in this part of the forest.
Interesting. And can I grab a few a few pebbles on the ground and attempt to juggle.
Sure, do a performance check. So you grab a couple pebbles, you grab 3 of them, and you start to juggle, and you're like, okay, I think I remember how this works. You put them all in your hand. You grab about like 5 more, so now you're juggling 8. And as you're throwing them, you accidentally or you start to mess up a little, and you throw one like really wide, and it smacks Balrin in the face, and his eyes kind of light up, and he's like, and he pulls out his revolver and points it towards a tree and takes a shot.
Hey!
This tree to be specific. This ends up waking up Vikavor, Quinn, and Snoopy. And he kind of looks in that area, and you can tell that he's sort of surveying the area, and he goes, I could have sworn that I got hit from something over there.
That was my fault. I was having a little fun by myself, and I guess one of these stones got away from me. Sorry, it was me.
Oh. And he goes to reload his gun. He swings it back into his forearm to bring out, his hand. And he stands up and goes, well, I guess as long as we're not under attack then, you can go ahead and go to sleep. I'm fully charged and ready to go.
All right. I go right back to the tree and
Vikavor's,
fly back down.
the back of Vikavor's head, it sits there and it starts to mutter something, but Vikavor's kind of got it suffocating in his pillow, and you can see that, like, with what you can see, Vikavor, with your dark vision, is Vikavor is, like, literally trying to smother this face to try to kill it in some way, shape, or form, but it's not working. But he is able to muffle whatever the voice is trying to say, so all you hear is like.
I scratched the side of my head a little bit and then just lay back against the tree.
Okay. So let me see. Boom. All right. So Balrin starts to look around, and he doesn't see shit. He doesn't hear anything out of the ordinary for the next 4 hours. Actually, I'll have him do 2 perception checks. Oh. So for the first 2 hours, he doesn't pick up anything, but nothing seems to be out of the ordinary around this area. On the last portion of his watch, like within the last 20 minutes or so, he is also able to hear marching, but now it's directly west of you guys, and it's a little bit closer. So he goes ahead and starts to wake you guys all up, as it's not going away yet. Hey, guys, I hear marching coming from the west. If I had to make a guess, I'd say it's Titania.
How much closer are they compared to when I heard them?
So when you heard them, they were definitely pretty distant. You could hear them, and it sounded like it was within a mile radius. Now that you're up and listening again, they sound to be within 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile away from you guys.
That's kind of close. The straggler could find us pretty easily.
I suggest we head towards southeast. Get as far away from them as possible. We're in an open field, so we're open. I'm sure someone will come across and see us.
I think you're right. Hey, isn't
Yeah, we definitely
Southwest?
don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no way. Isn't southwest where we need to go to close that portal? I wonder if they're using that portal or something.
My mind tells me we must go, but my gut tells me we should stay away.
Well, I don't think we can take on a whole army.
Indeed. Snoopy, how confident with your with being able to check it out and see how safe it could be, or what they could be doing?
You see me like shaking and like do like the proud prance, like yesterday was yesterday. I'm the sneakiest there is.
All right. I want to trust you with this. And then good luck to you. Go ahead and see if you can see anything interesting out there. Possibly for that portal.
Okie dokie.
Good luck, buddy.
Vikavor stands up and he puts his cloak on, or his hood up, rather. I would join you, but I think that this guy would probably give away our position. Are you going to be okay by yourself, you think?
Well, how far do I have to go?
Vikavor shrugs. What do you think, Saberwolf?
Are you wanting me to go to the portal by myself?
No, I'm just trying to see if you could
Get a look at
identify
the
how
soldiers?
close they are. Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. And then meanwhile here we gotta back up. And then we'll just wait for Snoopy to come back. And we'll figure out what we're doing after that.
What's like the way I can find you guys if I can't track you guys? Will Vikavor you shoot a fireball up in the air, and that's like the
I could do that. And he holds out his hand, and you see flames starting to come from his fingertips. How long do you think you'll be gone for? 10, 15 minutes?
probably not much more than that.
Alright. Looks like that's the plan.
Does anybody have any items that I can like put a like distress signal? Does anybody have like a horn or something? I mean, I can bark pretty loud. I am a beagle.
Maybe I wish I could help. I would go myself, but I'm not too confident with how quiet I am. I could howl pretty loud. But
Hey, out of game. Sorry, I just noticed I have inspiration. Is that incorrect?
No, everyone got inspiration at the end of last session.
Oh, cool. I thought we were voting and then we never voted. But sweet.
Yeah, because
All of our
Ethan
stories
had
were
to
so good.
leave and didn't have a chance, and I know he wanted to do something. I just gave it to you all.
Sweet. Okay, well. Okay, bye.
alright.
Okay.
If
So
I,
as
if I come running, baying my ass off, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Alright.
Hold on, you. Hold on, you may not have to go alone. Give me a sec. So Brady, this list that you gave me, does it
You
show
tell me you have
what,
pass
like
without trace.
Nope.
Damn it.
Is there like a? Is there way I can check
So
like the
essentially,
dexterity?
the only way you'd be able to is to look at the monster manual itself. But I could tell you right now, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, your level.
Because I can't
able
even
to
fly.
do-
Yeah, I can't do stuff that can fly yet.
Correct. I'm pretty sure. Let me actually look up some stuff for you real quick. I think the
Well, he
black
can be
bear.
all zeros, but yeah, you don't get flying. I don't think until is it even 9?
It's
or
8.
is 9 8?
Yeah.
But you have water speed, so you can be a crocodile. That fits.
The wolf wolf, I think, has a really good dexterity score.
Ooh, I have an idea. Wait, have you told me that you can change to animals yet? We haven't seen that.
I don't think so, no.
Well, my
Panther might be
introduction.
with
Well,
this.
never mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
your
don't think-
introduction, you can summon animals. The panther or the wolf, just based on looking at all this stuff right here on the list, I think are your best bets.
What about a cat?
Just a regular ass cat, like a little a house pussy.
Why?
It has the same dex as a panther and a wolf. The only thing I would say it gives it an advantage over being those two is that it's tiny and has a climb speed, but so does the panther.
Wait, so Quinn, what are you saying?
I'm saying you may not have to go this alone. And I want to use my spell.
So wild shape is an ability you have, and you've got, I believe, 2 uses of it per day. Unless you're a moon druid.
Nope, 2 still.
Okay.
It's always 2.
So yeah, always 2. So yeah, you've got 2 uses of your wild shape per day. I think you get them back on a short rest, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, you just essentially you transform into the creature, and if you're wearing clothes or some sort of like ornamentation that could be worn by the creature, you can tell me that you want that to be visible. Otherwise, it all just gets melded into your form and you just become the creature. And it lasts for a number of hours equal to, I think your,
Druid level.
yeah,
And I can come out of it at any time, right?
yes. Essentially, like I think it technically takes like a bonus action or something.
And if you're a moon druid, bonus action. Other druids, it's a full action.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to take an action to use it and then take another action to get out of it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a wild shape into a wolf. And
Wolf?
have and I don't want my clothes visible.
Okay. So you guys watch as he comes up and says, Snoopy, I don't think you have to go alone. And you watch as his eyes turn green, and very much like when Saberwolf transforms from his human form back to his wolf form, you see the same sort of transformation happen to Quinn. His fingers get a little bit longer and eventually get hair all over, and they don't get longer. They start to shorten and grow these really large claws, and they turn into paws. His arms and legs get a little bit more slender, but toned. He's got a big bushy tail now. And what color do you want your wolf to be? I'll allow you to pick any color.
Pink.
I'm just gonna do like I guess a normal looking wolf, like a dark gray, charcoal.
Okay. Dark gray. And he's still got the same sort of like haircut in a way on his head as Quinn does right here. You see a little streak of white going from like right above his right eyebrow, and it's just a streak that goes up to about mid neck.
Whoa.
He kind of whimpers at you.
Play bow.
Well, I'll be. I have my hand on my chin with my arms across. That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that, Gwen.
Ow, 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 ow.
Perfect.
I go over. Can you speak?
Can I talk in this rating?
Nope.
I shake my head like in a no.
Brady, I
Yo.
actually have an ability as the awakened canine that I can communicate to dogs with
I'll
barking.
allow it for the
and-
wolf.
Sweet.
So
And so
you
I
you can communicate to him, and then you can talk to the. So you can essentially translate whenever he's in a
Oh,
wolf or a dog form.
I can also just cast a message and communicate with him that way.
This
But
That is
some,
also a
yes.
true fact.
But it's
This
way
some-
less cool.
there's some Disney movie-ish that's going on right now.
Man, you get your Lady and the Tramp neglect out of here, dude. Except for this is the gay version because we're civilized folk. Lady is Snoopy and the Tramp is the wolf.
So I'm gonna send it. Oh, I can just talk at this point. It's like, if you ever need to talk to me silently, we should have a cue so that I could send a message to you, so you could speak to me silently.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want it to be like a stomp or like a scratch at the ground or something?
Yeah. I'm a, you know how, I'm gonna stomp at the ground and like, dig and stuff. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. If I hear you say that,
Man,
I'll
I'll get
send
y'all
a
caught.
message and we can communicate. You ready?
Dang it. Ooh.
Can you
All
speak,
right.
Charlie?
You do be careful. The rest of you, Vikavor, Baldwin, we're gonna head to the southeast and behind a few trees.
I think I know what you said, just because you gave that little ping, but you did cut out. I'm assuming you said we're going to take cover behind these trees in the southeast.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Excellent.
And all right. Oh, hold on. For you two, any more than 15 minutes, we'll give a signal. I'll tell Vikavor to signal you two to come back so you can let us know what you find.
Vikavor goes, yeah, and he punches his fist into his hand, and there's like a combustible like explosion, but it's very contained, like he's done this before.
Well, if
No.
you light that signal, you better be ready to run.
Indeed. All right, same for you. You find anything or you get into trouble, you know what to do.
I look at my new wolf buddy. How fast can you run as a wolf?
What does a wolf? Let me pull up the wolf
Yeah, I was gonna say,
statistics.
I'm not sure.
I will let you know.
So-
Your speed is 40 feet.
Sweet.
Okay, no, okay, good. It actually does say it here. Cool.
All right.
And so, just for the sake of RP, do you want to race? So I like take off full sprint across this
Yeah.
ground,
and I chase right after him.
and
And I'm going. I'm down.
we run the exact same speed. Like, oh, sweet.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are both doing like the dash action and stuff like that, and just running. As you're running and racing, the rest of the crew like is standing back watching you guys have fun, and Vikavor, Saberwolf, you can hear Vikavor like you hear a sniffle. Vikavor's like, "Are you crying?" Shut up! It's just so cute to see the little puppy do things like that. Wow.
And I'm like watching them like run off. I just crack my knuckles and like crack my neck and then just run back. jump inside the tree.
And I'm like so proud that I'm running alongside a wolf. Same speed. All right. Wait, so like can you turn into any animal?
Conveniently, Gerald just went AFK.
Where did he say that?
Because he was asking me what he could wild shape into, so I sent him a list, and he said, "All right, cool, be right back."
Oh.
I guess while that's going on, unfortunately, it's really hard to have Saberwolf roleplay with two people that aren't here. So I guess let's just take a fiver real fast. I'm gonna go grab some more water real fast.
All right.
All right, I'm back.
Good.
Did Brady go anywhere?
Yeah, because you weren't here and it was only us doing the thing, and then Kevin couldn't role play with two people that weren't there. He was like, "All right, let's take a 5-minute break."
My bad. I'll be back again though. Hold on.
Gerald back?
He literally just got back, and then he realized that we weren't.
Oh, and then he left again?
Yeah.
Damn. He couldn't have gone far.
No. Lay down, little Charlie.
Well, I guess Snoopy can go ahead and roll a perception check while you're here.
Oh, Brady, I'm pretty sure this is rigged. But I mean, I did
think
roll
so?
the 18, but I haven't rolled above a legitimate
I'm back.
10 in a really long time. I know it's not rigged, but man, these I know
It
the way
does feel like
statistics
it,
work,
yeah.
but dude, like dude.
Gerald, if you could go ahead and roll a perception check, and then I think Joe had some questions.
So like, and I'll send these through messages as we're going. So like, can you turn into any animal?
You hear this voice in your head, and you know that you can say something back in your head.
You said perception, right?
Perception, yep.
All right.
The wolf probably has a different modifier than your perception.
Correct. So, we'll take your roll of 10, and we'll add a 1 to it, so an 11.
Oh, it's
But-
worse.
Yeah. But you have keen hearing and smell.
So it's advantage, but it's still worse.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I turn into any? Not really. Definitely not as good as my master was. But in due time, he said, I will be able to.
Can you like turn into really small things? Stop eating the blanket.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ooh, like a spider or a fly? That could be useful.
A spider, for sure. Mm-hmm.
That's great unless you get squished.
Uh, yeah, I've never thought about that one. But yeah,
Well, that's sweet. I'm glad we know about that power now. I'm excited to have a puppy friend.
anytime, buddy.
All right.
Okay. So, with your perception checks, as you guys are running and having a race, Snoopy, you end up hearing the marching sort of stop suddenly. So then you stop and you kind of get down low to the grass, and you start to sniff around, and you can definitely smell. You've picked up what Titanians kind of smell like a collective of them, especially after they've been marching for a while. You can smell metal, mainly iron and steel. You get the faint smell of blood and also like sweat and stuff like that. The normal things for soldiers that are marching for days on end, but you can smell them, and they're definitely within a reasonable distance, probably anywhere between 300 to 1,000 feet away from you guys at your current location. Um, with your new senses, Quinn, you've never smelt Titanians before, but you can sort of smell these scents as well. But you're kind of still getting used to it. So as you take in a breath and start sniffing with your nose, like you get all these sensations start to flood your body. Um, since it's kind of been a while since you probably wild shaped, we'll say for flavor. So you kind of sit there and like put your paws on your nose because it's really stinky. And Snoopy notices this.
Oh, I say, I guess to him, are you picking that up? So many different smells. Oh,
Yeah, welcome to my world. Isn't it awesome?
I can only imagine. I'm assuming that they're near?
Yeah, I'd say within 300 to 1,000 feet.
You don't say.
Yes. I say.
Is this that, I guess that titanium, titanium soldiers that y'all were talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I can smell it.
Oh, well, if I know any better, this definitely smells like trouble.
Should we go check it out?
I mean, since we're here, let's make good use of it.
On we go.
Okay. I'm assuming you guys are probably going to try to stealth.
Full
Cat.
speed straight through the camp.
I think the cats are fighting. Hold on.
Hey, little Charlie. What you doing?
Literal cat fight.
Cat fight.
All right, Kevin, did I ever tell you about that time where it was like 3 in. There was a cat fight out?
I remember you telling me about that a while back.
Man.
It's random as
Man,
hell.
I've heard one of those. They are nuts.
That's all you hearing.
Yeah, like it was 3 in, and like that woke me up, and it was like a white cat and like a grayish charcoal cat, and then it was 5 other cats circled around those 2 cats while they were fighting.
Oh my god.
Like,
It was a
3
fighting
in the
pit,
morning,
dude.
I see this, yeah, and I'm looking at this, and then like they were going at it, just like you just hear, and then and then the gray one just smacks the mess out of the white one, and then they all scatter. And I'm like, what the heck?
You heard one of them go, "World Star."
So, hey, have you guys seen Bert Kreischer's new stand-up yet?
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious.
Mm-mm.
Hey, big boy. That's what it's called. He's like, yeah, we got this cat, and I don't know what happened, but I think it like stuck its head out the cat door or something. It was like, hey, listen up, motherfuckers! If you want to come and fight me in my living room, be there at 2 a.m. And then, sure as shit, 2 a.m. rolls by, and our cat is fighting two other neighborhood cats in our living room at 2 a.m.
Like, what is
That
this madness?
I know, right? Cats are fucking silly, dude.
Dude, his bag of rice bit was so fucking funny. I was
Pulled
dying.
out a bag of rice. We were trying to watch
Cooking
that with Ingrid's
extra.
parents, and
Oh god.
Lori wasn't having it. She doesn't like when they say the F word and all that, but he was talking about how he got caught watching porn. She's like, yep, I'm done. Oh man, that thing's
Yeah,
funny
that's
though.
a pretty rough one to watch. Parents.
Yeah, it's funny though, but alright. Back into it. If you guys are going stealthily, go ahead and roll me stealth checks, please.
Come on. Click.
See?
Whoa, weird.
You're back.
Finally.
Do I
I
need to
can
roll one?
roll a 30 for stealth, and I've been rolling 12s.
yeah.
It's really
Roll a
frustrating.
d20 and add 2 to it for the wolf stats.
You only get stealth for 2? That's lame.
It's only a CR quarter.
Yeah, but still.
You did good
It's
though.
a nice roll, jeez.
Okay,
Same
so
as
you
me, I
guys
guess.
end up crouching and moving forward. You're able to dodge all the like loose branches and stuff that would possibly snap. Kind of like when you were hunting the Spriggan. But you've learned your lesson now, Snoopy, and you're able to
Yes.
tiptoe over these things. But as you start moving slower now, you end up hearing clinking metal armor in front of you, and you can hear the shouting of people. It's undistinct at this moment, but they're definitely within 100 feet of you currently. It doesn't sound like they're coming directly to you. It sounds more like based on how the shouts start in one portion of the forest, and then there's an echo of other people shouting back at them in a reply and stuff like that. It sounds like, using your better judgment, they're searching for something.
So they're like spread out.
Yep.
And they're which direction are they? Did we kind of like get into the middle of them? Are they like up ahead of us, or are we behind them? Are they like
They're
going
kind
all
of they're all manner of directions. You were heading towards like directly towards the source of the marching, and then when it stopped, the
what?
voices hear them coming from like the north, the south, the southwest, the northeast, like all over. Like they
Okay.
stopped, and they started fanning out.
And send a message. It looks like they're looking for something.
Oh, you see me kind of get surprised as a wolf. You don't think they're looking for us, do you?
My ears kind of droop like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. They know who we are. And as I'm like saying this, I want to look specifically for a dude with a dragon gauntlet.
Okay. So as you're sending your message, and Quinn's replying to you and stuff, you start to hear the footsteps coming within like 50 feet of you guys, and you sort of like peek around a tree, and you can start to see Titanian soldiers. They've all got their weapons drawn, and they're all kind of looking all over the place, and they're not looking like specifics, like they're not like turning over every single rock or anything looking. They're more looking around the general landscape, and they look back. As they start to scan over y'all's directions, you kind of duck behind the tree and they look right past you, and then they continue moving forward. They start moving around and spreading out even more. Eventually, as you guys are sitting there, all quiet like, just observing what's going on, you hear a female voice shout out to everybody. Make haste, all of you. We need to find that golem site ASAP. Titania must take over Cyrodiil, and this is our key to victory. So hurry up. I want double patrols through this forest. And don't go alone. We've learned our lesson in the past. Eventually, this female ends up, as she's shouting, she ends up coming within your view of about 50 feet or so. I will show you what she looks like. She is a red-haired woman.
I got the woman.
She's in complete plate mail armor. Currently, she has her helmet off, though, while she's searching. You can tell that they're not really expecting a fight right now, but they're definitely prepared. Obviously, the Twisted Wood has not been very kind to Titanian soldiers in the past, so they have no reason to believe that it would all of a sudden change. But that's what you hear, and they start to fan out. They don't really go into your direction. They seem to be more concentrated towards south of this position that they're at.
You, Snoopy, you hear Quinn kind of just mutter to himself, "Oh my God, she's beautiful."
She's so fucking hot.
Quietly, of course.
In dog, I'm gonna go. Shh, which is. I say, I send him a message. Looking for a golem. I wonder. I think we should head back.
Yeah, sure. I mean, did you find what you were looking for though?
You
Did I
didn't
find
see that gentleman.
Oh, no. I didn't see anybody I recognized, but I think we have good information. At least we know why they're here.
Yeah. And then, hold on, which way did she say? Didn't she say direct?
Oh, shoot.
She didn't
missed that,
specifically
actually.
say a
She
direction.
said make haste.
She said make haste, find the golem, and they started heading south of their
Oh,
location.
okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, she didn't.
Okay.
She didn't specifically say a direction to go, but you can tell the way they're searching. They fanned out, and they probably, most of the soldiers are probably more west of you guys, and this is kind of the end of the line for this location, or for the soldiers that are on the eastern portion of the forest right now.
Well, at least we know which way they're going. In Cyrodiil, this can't be good. Yeah, so I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah, let's get back before they set off the signal.
Facts.
Oh,
Let's go.
what's like a rough number here
Of time?
of people? Like, are we talking a battalion, a group, an army?
I'll be honest, I don't know the difference between a battalion's numbers and a regiment. Battalion is 300 to 800 soldiers, so yes, a battalion. From what you can tell, there's a fuck ton of them. But they're not all concentrated on this portion. There's, from what you can see at least like 100 men as they're all kind of like scouring between. But you like catch glimpses of them as they kind of move through the forest, and it's kind of creepy because of how many there are.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not get in their way. At least we know which direction they're going in. I guess we start to head back.
Sorry, I muted my mic. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Okay. So you guys start to head back. Easy enough to do. The Titanians aren't looking for you guys. One of them, with them actively searching, one of them does see, Quinn's wolf form, as you guys are sort of running away, but he makes no, like he just kind of sees it and knows now that there are definitely creatures out in the woods and stuff. He's just looks like there's a little relief on his face that he didn't have to, kill a animal today or something like that. But you guys get back. As you get back, Vikavor, you guys see about 50 feet away from you is starting to walk towards the center of the meadow, and he turns back to Saberwolf. It's time, right?
Hold on. It's a little longer.
And you can see Vikavor, he's got his hand ready. You can see the sort of like that sort of white smoke coming from his hand as he's preparing to cast Fireball. When Snoopy and Wolf Quinn pop out from the bushes. And Vikavor, like you see him sort of clench his fist to sort of like smolder out the flames. But he's also got this kind of like look of disappointment on his face too.
Ah, okay, you're back. I start walking toward.
Dude, it's only been like 3 minutes.
Oh, I never be surprised nowadays. Might get abducted or even worse, killed. So, what'd you find?
Nothing.
Hmm.
Just kidding. They're looking for a golem. They're heading south. They weren't looking for us.
A golem south.
Mhm.
Interesting. Anything else? How many soldiers did you see?
Like 800.
They never rode in small squads, do they?
I think we can take them.
Yeah, you have fun with that. Anyways, any notable characters like anybody that we've met before that you've seen?
Oh my God, there was this one woman. And also, I'm saying it's like kind of forgetting that he can't understand.
I'm just looking at Wolf Quinn, looking at Wolf Quinn in confusion, and then give him like the Nico Bellic look, like looking at Snoopy, like, okay, what do you say?
No one we met before, but there was somebody. This girl, he likes her. This redhead might be
Ouch.
might be the captain or something.
Right there, huh? Hey, Quinn, was she curvy? I like the curvy ones.
You could tell that she was very fit. obviously with all that plate mail armor, you could take your best assumptions as to what her body type looks like.
I hope one day I could meet that one. Well, that's not good though, that they're so close to us at that much capacity. And plus, we have to head towards that direction as well to get back to town. We might have to do a quick, let's say, alternate route. Have to go a different way to get back, just to avoid any unnecessary conflict.
I think if we just get ahead of them, we'll be totally fine. They're looking for something, so they're probably going really slow compared to how we'll travel.
I wonder what they need a golem for, though. It's interesting.
They
Okay.
We overheard them talking about taking over the forest.
That's not good either. And it's our job to stop them from taking it over. Okay.
Yeah, we
That's
need
some
to
good
see
info.
what our people down in the city know about the golem, and maybe we can beat them to it.
Right. That's exactly what I was about to say. Good job, you two. Some good information we needed. All right, if everybody's ready, let's try to make haste. We have to beat them back to town.
Vikavor and Balvin nod their head in agreement. What pace do you guys take to get back? You've got slow, normal, and fast. Fast pace, you have a disadvantage on any perception checks because of you're essentially like moving, not necessarily dash speed, but you know, close to it. Normal pace, everything's just normal. Slow pace, you can make stealth checks.
Okay. I'll say fast, just so it'll give us time to
We need to
hurry up
make
and slow down.
haste.
Right. Make haste.
Okay. Okay. And do you guys, what is your, so you know the Titanian soldiers are to your west and they're within, half a mile or so and they're heading south. Or at least they're west to about half a mile somewhere. That's where you guys saw them, and they go even further beyond that just because of the sheer amount that you heard and kind of saw through the trees and stuff. And they're currently marching south. So what is y'all's route?
We should go south first, and then once we're confident we're past them, we'll cut over and head straight towards the town.
Yeah, as long as we're out of their line of sight, that's all that matters. So, south it is, south far, and then head straight towards town once we're out of their sight.
Okie
Yep.
dokie. Okay, so you guys go ahead and start sprinting through the forest and stuff. You try to stay, going directly south as to not get too close to the Titanians or anything like that. Go ahead and roll me perception checks at disadvantage as you guys are running.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
I don't know why my audio keeps cutting out.
Do
What
you
did you
stay in your wolf form while you guys are heading back?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in it.
This first roll is for Balrin. The second one is for Vikavor.
And what do I need to
So
roll?
go ahead and roll a d20 and add 1. Okay.
Nice.
So as you guys are running, let's see. Balrin and Snoopy, you guys are keeping an eye out, making sure that you're not being followed by anything. The one thing you notice is It only takes probably about a quarter of a mile to half a mile before you're out of this sort of like corrupted portion of the forest. So you can tell that this Spriggan probably wasn't there for too very long. It's probably a recent thing. It hadn't gotten to the roots of a lot of this forest. So based on that, you kind of know exactly how much further you have to go before you can start dipping west. You don't really notice any creatures about. You definitely don't see any Titanian soldiers, as you guys are constantly looking over your shoulders towards the west. Um, so at that point, you guys end up dipping to the west and moving through. It takes you about, at a fast pace, it only takes you about 2 hours before you're back to the town. In that 2 hours of you guys going, you didn't see, once you got to about where you thought cutting west was a good idea, you guys didn't see any Titanian soldiers at all. So you know that it's somewhere in between the town and where the Spriggan is, somewhere in that sort of like, I guess, triangulation on the map is where the Titanians are. So now you have a rough blueprint, a rough outline of where they could possibly be. Let me bring us to Lathrius. So you guys make it back to Lathrius. You can tell that the mood is still kind of solemn and sorrowful right now. The people aren't really out and about, but they are, what you can tell from what you do see as you guys are coming back into town. You do see people that are putting together, like, they're making stuff out of, like, the flowers and, like, parts of the trees that have fallen off. They look like decorations of some sort. And pretty much everyone that you see, especially the women, are all putting these together. The men are still, hard at work doing things to keep the town running, and the guards are, doing their guardly duties. Where do you guys go inside of Lathrius?
Saberwolf, you tell them about everything. I'm gonna go to Opal, and then I'll meet back up with you guys.
All right, sounds like a plan. All right, I go up to. Are there? You said there's some guards around.
Yep.
Okay, I go up to the guards and ask them. I'll tell them about the nearby Titanian. So.
Okay. We'll say that you guys are up here. Oh, let me get Vicavor up there too. You go up to the guards, and what exactly do you say?
We were out in the woods to retrieve some objects, but we ended up getting some word on some Titanian soldiers nearby. Between here and where we were, they're quite close. Said something about a golem. You know anything about that?
I don't, but I bet Arenstar does. He's currently cleaning out the Elder's home, and he points towards the Elder's humble abode. I'd go talk to him. He knows a lot more about the Titanians and stuff of that nature.
See, gracias. And I end up I'll do a quick little bow and then just start walking towards.
Okay. So you get over there, and when you go in there, there are guards that are currently like they're loading up a cart full of different things. They look mostly like possessions of the old elder, Corwin. And they're really just kind of clearing out this place. This is a location that whoever the village elder is, from what you guys know so far, based on your observations, the elder resides in this location while they are leading the town. So they're currently getting all of his personal belongings and taking them elsewhere. But there's one of them that definitely stands out from the rest of the guards. He's got shorter hair than the rest of them. All of it is sort of that sort of like springtime green color, because the Eladrin, as the seasons change, so do their complexions and hair colors and stuff like that. And he's currently, make sure you're careful with that one. Eh, we could see if the new elder's gonna want any of this stuff, I guess, before we leave it, so just keep it nearby in one of the storage facilities for now. And he turns around. I think you all are the ones that Corwin, the elder of this village, was speaking so highly about. The name's Arenstar.
Arenstar, it's nice to meet you. I
Likewise.
know our presence isn't exactly desirable considering the circumstances, but pardon the intrusion. We have quite some information that you must know.
Go ahead, I'm free. And you all keep doing, keep cleaning everything up. I'll be right back. And he heads out towards like the little, the bridge that connects this home to the mainland. All right. What is it that you've seen? I know Corwin told me that he's got you guys helping us with our titanium issue, as well as a couple other things. Did you close that portal by chance yet? Or maybe it's something about the Titanians?
Definitely something about the Titanians. We'll have to take care of that portal soon, though. But I just so happen to know my comrade here and my other comrade. They end up doing some scouting in the camp that we made. End up finding some Titanian soldiers quite close. Between here and where we were, they seem to be looking for a golem. Something about needing that to take over the forest.
He scratches his chin for a little bit. They couldn't possibly. How much about the 1,000-Year War do you all know about? Have you ever read up in the history? You all seem quite young, so obviously you didn't live through any of it.
Can I roll a history check?
Yep, go for it. Anyone that's there can roll history. This first one will be for Vikavor. I don't know if Quinn joined Snoopy, or if he joined the party.
I'm with Snoop.
Okay. So you, Kevin, don't remember a lot. You know the name of it, and you know that it ended about 133 years ago, when the peace treaty was signed between all the empires. Other than that, you've got no real, you've never had a proper history lesson. Vikavor kind of likewise, he kind of shrugs his shoulders. He's like, I've been studying for most of my life, trying to, learn these powers that I have. But Balrin is well versed in the 1,000-Year War for being, warforged and all. He kind of tells you guys what he knows about it, which is a decent amount of info, but I won't say anything without Swath actually being here about it. But Arenstar, well, obviously, the 1,000-Year War, the Titanians were hell-bent on taking over the whole continent, starting with the Ciavitas Empire to our north. The Ciavitas Empire is not really anything in terms of military strength comparable in any way, shape, or form to what Titania had. But what they did have is they had quite the great relationship with the Fae, that live within the Twisted Wood, and they had their own magics that they were able to use. And it's my understanding that the Twisted Wood aided the Sea of Vitus Empire from utter destruction with these magically enhanced golems. You know, 30 feet tall, able to destroy any sort of fortification within a matter of minutes. These things were giants. In all honesty, it was quite the sight. I did get to see one. The Fae, when they were bringing a couple of them to the Sea of Vitus Empire, the Summer Court was arming them in preparation for a massive attack. After the battle was over, the Titanians had to fall back and retreat, and from what I remember is these golems were essentially left in the Twisted Wood, away from meddling Titanians and Sea of Vitus folks alike, as the Fae didn't want these to be permanently in anyone's hands other than their own. And of course, as the war dragged on, there was less of a need for them, and they started to become one with the land itself. If the Titanians are in fact looking for these specific golems, which I don't see why not, then more than likely there are a couple somewhere within the Twisted Wood, and if they do find them, I don't know if they'll be able to revive the magics, but perhaps they could end up learning from it and taking it apart to making new ones and their own creation. Because, well, everyone knows the Titanians are really good craftsmen. That's one of the things that make them such a formidable opponent.
Interesting. So we're gonna be in quite the pickle, huh? I would say we'll have to close that portal before they find it. Okay. So, what do you suggest we do about this threat? They had someone leading them, I heard. A woman with armor. Plate armor with scarlet hair. I heard that she was ordering them to make haste, and they're spreading across the forest at this point now. My worries are they'll end up eventually ending up here.
That's always a possibility, but if they're already concentrating their efforts in a location of the forest, then they either A, already know roughly where its location is, or B, they've already swept the other portions. I don't believe that they'll find our settlement. We've got, ancient magics sort of protecting it from those that we don't deem worthy of our presence, so we should be perfectly fine. I don't foresee the Titanians unless they use some way of destroying the forest, which that is not their goal right now.
Right.
If anything, we
Okay.
need to figure out if they're able to find this golem, and then we need to find out if they're trying to revive it in its current state or if they're just observing it. If they're observing it, then more than likely the best course of action would be a couple things. Destroy the golem before they're able to really get a good look at it and understand the fundamentals of how it works. I guess if we, kind of looks around at all his, over the bridge out at the village, we're in no shape for a battle with Titanians, especially with the amount that you said there are, so I don't think taking them on would be very wise.
Right. So
And
best course
perhaps
of action could be.
maybe the last thing is wait until they have what they need and somehow take it away from them before they're able to return it back to their home. If they're taking notes, easy enough at burning them. Vikavor kind of smiles at that. You could steal them, or if they've got someone really smart with them, I guess you could just take that person out, and then they have to send someone else back up to study it. But I think the wisest option would be to destroy the golem before they're able to really research it.
You have a point. Now, I know this is a dumb question, but would you happen to have any clue what direction that could be in?
He kind of shakes his head. Honestly, we were never really a part of that 1,000-year war. Luckily, the Twisted Wood wasn't anything more than just a troop crossing for the Titanians. They didn't see, because of how hostile the Fae are to outsiders, they didn't see any point in trying to set up any sort of strongholds or anything like that. So I've only seen, the golems in action, but I didn't ever see where their resting place was.
Indeed. Okay. Well, so I guess we take out the golem, or find and take out the golem, or B, close that portal. Either way, we're in a bit of a stickler, don't you think?
hmm The portal, I think, though, in all honesty, that's more of an issue that's going to keep haunting you all. While you guys were gone for whatever, day and a half, 2 days almost, uh, we didn't have any sort of incidents. So that portal's strictly affecting you guys. Which, don't get me wrong, it's still a priority for you. And I don't think the Titanians, even if they do find the golem, I don't think that they're going to be in and out as quickly as we're giving them credit for. They are very meticulous when it comes to these kind of things. They'll probably be there for a matter of days, if not a 10-day at least.
You have a point.
And if they're trying to haul that thing out of there all in one piece, yeah, they're going to need more manpower.
Right. Okay. Well, we got all the information we need. Thank you. I hear you're getting ready for a new elder. What's the process of that?
Well, sometimes the elder, I guess it really depends on how the initial elder left us. If he was able to obtain his moment of clarity to proceed through the crossing, usually at that moment a new elder is picked from one of the archfey as the other elder departs the material plane. Because our elder was taken away from us so suddenly, we're waiting for a sign from the Archfey that they've made a decision, and this could take maybe a couple more days, could take a whole month. It really depends. They put a lot of thought into what's going on in the world around us before they pick their elder. So we're hopeful, but at least this gives us a lot of time to say goodbye and remember Corwin before we have to start learning about our new one.
I understand. Well, I know you have your hands full, and we do too, but because it was our fault that the former elder was taken to the next world. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask.
Likewise, I know you guys are trying to help and you've done some questionable things, but it's kind of out of your hands. There are forces in this world that, as strong as you might be, can still overpower you, so you don't have any quarrel with me. And if my men give you any lip, let me know.
Indeed. Thank you again. You be careful, okay?
He gives you sort of like a two-finger salute, and then goes back into the elders' living quarters.
Alright, we start heading back to Opal.
Okay. Before you guys get to Opal, Snoopy and Quinn the Wolf roll up into Opal's potion shop. And as you go in there, Opal is currently organizing all of her ingredients on her shelf right now. She opens up a bottle, sniffs it. Oh, that's good. Oh, no. She tosses it in her cauldron, and you see this like little poof of smoke. And as she tosses it in the cauldron, she sees you, goes back to what she's doing, and then turns around. Oh, hello there, Snoopy. And it seems that you found a new friend.
No, this is Quinn.
Quinn? Oh, the
Wait.
druid fellow.
It's like, wait, have you met Quinn?
I don't think she has,
Yeah.
actually.
Yes, he's the druid. But he's the wolf right now. Guess what I found? And I pull out
I'm assuming... Ah, yes. I assume correctly. How was your battle with the Spriggan?
You know,
Awful.
Opal, you know, I had a
I
rough
agree.
day.
Spriggans are awful.
Can she understand me? And I look at Snoop.
Of course, dear. You don't think that I, being as old as I am, wouldn't be able to speak to the children of the forest now?
Oh, well, I meant no disrespect in any way.
Oh,
So,
no.
I go, wait, I can speak my native tongue, and I start just barking conversation.
And she starts barking back at you.
Whoa. So yeah, that's really interesting about you. Brady, I'm sorry, I don't actually speak dog.
I know. Don't be fooled. Most of us, most of my sisters can do it as well.
What is that language called?
Canine, I guess.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. But yeah,
I've never
we
really
found
thought
this
about the name for it, honestly, but that sounds about right.
K9. That's what we are. Yeah, that Spriggan, we killed it in the forest immediately with going back to being not all corrupted.
Perfect.
Cool.
I assume it'll take a couple days, depending on how deep it was able to get into the roots of that grove, but you've definitely done good by me and by the denizens of that part of the forest. I'm almost certain that within a couple of 10 days or so, the flora and the fauna will all start to come back, and it'll probably be inhabited by Fae once again, which is wonderful. Did
Well,
you remember to bring the heart with you?
of course, and I pull it out.
Very, very good. And as you pull it out and hand it over to her, the rest of the group ends up popping into the potion shop. Well, I've been expecting this, so I already have a cauldron ready to create your new friend.
Please tell me she's still barking at me as they roll up.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she hasn't stopped until you stop.
Um,
So as Saber Wolf and friends walk in, Snoopy's over here like barking and stuff like that, and then you see Opal barking back, and then you see Quinn over there like with his tongue hanging out at the side, like they're just all barking at each other.
I'll walk up doing the people's eyebrow, just looking like, huh.
Oh, I assume that you don't speak their language.
Yeah, you assume correctly. Otherwise, hello again, Opal. Long
Yes, hello.
time no see.
Sure. even though it was just yesterday.
Indeed. Indeed.
If you wouldn't mind, though, I'm about to finish up Snoopy's special brew. Uh, since you're tall, can you reach that shiny crystal glass vial? And she points at the very, very top of her shelf, which is probably like 8 feet up in the air, or 8 feet up the wall. And then she goes behind her counter and starts to pull out a cauldron that's bubbling with this greenish, like it's got the viscosity of honey, so it's very thick. And she starts to throw in some spices and stuff like that. Now, Snoopy, this is
Yes.
going to seem strange, but she holds the Spriggan heart and puts it about your level. I need you to bite into the heart, and I need you to salivate.
Chomp. And of course I salivate immediately.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you
That's
chomp
almost as
down and start
disgusting as,
salivating. And she lets you do this for a couple of rounds. Um, and then she, okay, that's good enough. Now, she takes the Spriggan heart, and you can see, like she has these long fingernails, but like most hags do, and she sort of clutches the heart and starts to pull it apart, and she ends up splitting it in half, kind of like an apple. And as she does that, the juices from where your bite was, so your saliva, starts to mix with the blood of the Spriggan, and it droops into the cauldron. And as it does, the cauldron starts to sort of smolder a little bit. There's this sort of green smoke that starts to come off at the top. And as it's mixing and stuff, as she's letting the Spriggan blood drain, she ends up. You notice that faint green glow, as the blood starts to drain, the Spriggan heart itself starts to dull. But then the cauldron starts, or gets that same iridescent green glow. And then she puts the Spriggan remains to the side on her counter, and she starts to stir it with her finger a little bit. And when she brings it up, it sort of plops and it remains fixed. She brings up another string and it plops and it remains fixed. So now it looks like two little slug eyes are standing up. She goes to the counter and she starts, what color eyeballs, dear?
Ooh. Hmm. Green. No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
Oh,
Bright blue. Like a husky.
bright blue. She starts to look around. I have one, two. Or she grabs one eyeball, and then you notice like she sort of flicks her finger, and now she's got two of them in her hand, and she puts one of them in each of those stalks. And when she does, she mutters some words in a language that none of you speak, and the eyeball stalks sort of like droop back down into the cauldron, and it starts to swirl around. The cauldron starts to dance almost as it's moving from side to side, and eventually it stops. And now that vial, please. Hand it to Snoopy, and Snoopy, hold very still as I pour this into the vial.
All right. And I hand the vial to Snoopy.
I do as she says.
Okay. So you
Easy.
hold the vial still, and she picks up the cauldron and starts to pour it in. And she's very talented at pouring potions into a vial, so it's not all too bad. She doesn't drip, she doesn't miss, none of it all of it goes into the vial. And Snoopy, you notice that as you're holding it, at first it was just this mundane vial that you were holding. It was very eloquent, though, very well crafted. But as she finishes pouring the liquid, the moment that she puts the cap on, you feel a surge of magical energy go through, I guess, your puppy paws or your mage hand thing. I'll allow you to feel magic items through your mage hand since it's like a fundamental part of your race. Well, there you go. Your very own Goopy. Now, I will tell you exactly how this works, but it will take some time before you are essentially attuned to him. And she ends up going through a breakdown. If you go to the Magic Items tab and go to Obtained 2, I will put this in your journal specifically, and then I will also share it with the rest of the crew so that
Sweet.
they can see. Essentially, the way Goopy works is think of the Find Familiar spell, but better. You can essentially make Goopy by pouring the vial, and it makes a spitting image of yourself. You can shift him to look like other creatures, but you can't do anything that is larger than small. So it is a very small familiar. This one can attack. It has its own stats. If it does, quote unquote, go unconscious or anything like that, the bottle will automatically refill itself at the next dawn. So you don't have to worry about Goopy like going over to pick up Goopy's remains or anything like that. And he kind of works also like an ooze. Like he can squeeze into very, very tight corridors and things like that. But it's all there on the sheet. It is a heavily homebrewed item, so if we end up finding something just doesn't work, then we'll probably change it. But otherwise, I think it's good where it's at right now. But it is a
Sweet.
work in progress.
Really cool.
And the cool thing about it too is Goopy has a token, which
Oh,
I'll
nice.
actually make sure that you have access to move it and stuff. Actually, you should have access now. Try to move the Goopy thing. He's up in the top right. I might have to... Hold on, let me do this real fast. Let me
Oh,
delete
there he
his
is.
old token.
Yeah, I can move it.
Cool.
So does this have any intelligence at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, its intelligence is 1. So it essentially, the way it would work is it can give you, because you're able to like put your own consciousness into it, you're able to see through his eyes and stuff like that. I think it's out to
Okay.
100 feet, I put it. But what you can also do is it can bring back, I'll allow it to bring back very, very simple ideas to you. It can't go into large details like, for instance, it could be like, yeah, there were people out in the woods. Oh, how many? I don't know what numbers are.
Okay. Yeah, that's
kind of
totally...
thing.
But I can see through his eyes.
Correct, yep. And it works just like the Find Familiar spell. You are essentially unconscious when you go into it. But
And
yeah,
he lasts as long as he doesn't die, or I dismiss him.
correct. So you could have him following you the whole a whole day if you wanted to.
Cute. And how like goopy is he's just a greener color
Yep. Yeah, if you
with
here,
blue
let
eyes.
me yeah. So it's literally like a green tint on Snoopy's token.
Nice. Thanks, guys. This is gonna be really helpful.
Holy
This'll
Christ on a
This will
knuckle.
help us with flanking. This will help us scouting. This will help us infiltrating too. This is gonna be very useful.
We might get the chance to test that real soon.
Oh,
Oh,
Brady, I already have a homebrew question, I guess. Can
Okay.
he go into the vial and then come back out if
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
that's
destroyed?
yeah. So if you want to dismiss him, essentially you uncork the vial and you put the mouth of the vial to him, and he just sucks back in.
And then I could like do that right now, like suck him
Yep.
in, spit him out, suck him in, spit him out until he's destroyed. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
If he
Opal.
loses his 10 HP, then you just have to wait until the next dawn, and it like magically refills itself in the vial.
Okay. Thanks, Opal. I run up and give her a lick, and I command Goopy to do it too.
Oh, you two are quite lovely. Thank you. Now, just remember, even though Goopy doesn't say much, or really anything at all, it is essentially a living creature in a way. It's just a really dumb living creature. I expect you to treat it with respect.
Of course. You'll be like my little buddy. That's why I wanted him in the first place, remember?
Yes.
You can count on me.
Oh, I know I
Uh,
can. What a good boy.
now,
Yes.
question, Opal. Now, as
Okay,
far as this,
a good boy points. Marker.
as far as Goopy, are there any like specific weaknesses we should know of?
Not really weaknesses, but it's not a very strong companion. It's it will essentially die very, very easily, but luckily he comes back at the next dawn, as I've enchanted the vial to do so.
Okay.
Now, if the vial gets shattered, you would have to find a replacement before Goopy dies. If Goopy were to die, then we'd have to find another Spriggan and do the whole thing over, so keep that in mind. But I didn't give you some mundane vial now. It is made out of the toughest crystal that I've ever come upon, and it is my only one, so treat it very, very carefully and you should be perfectly fine. It would
Okay, it
take
sounds.
quite a lot of force to break it.
But if someone knew and they could destroy it. But
Correct.
I can't access. Okay.
Oh, and
I'll see
another
if
thing.
maybe some skilled leather worker or something can build me a little protective pocket for it or something. Anyways,
Another
we'll get to
thing,
that later.
Opal. We had the conversation with
Aaron Star?
yes, Ernstar. Told him about what we found in the woods when we went out to get the Spriggan heart. Uh, we end up running into, coming across some Titanian soldiers. About hundreds of them, 300. And they're quite close. And they said something about the golem. Do you happen to know anything about golems? I do apologize if I mention your age.
I know quite a bit about these golems that you're speaking of, and I know the specific ones that they're looking for. I'll tell you now that if they are able to find their hands, or find these golems and get their hands on them, well, we'd be in quite some trouble. Maybe not our little settlement itself, but if we were to ever try to rise against Titania, or if Titania takes this battle that they're imposing on this continent to other places, they will be in quite some trouble. These golems were created by the Archfey that rule the Summon Courts on the Feywild. Essentially a defense mechanism for the Ciavitas Empire during the Thousand-Year War. They did their purpose, and then the Archfey had them essentially stand idly by within the Twisted Wood, where no typical non-Fey existence would be able to meddle with them. Unfortunately, due to the amount of, I guess, turmoil the Titanian Empire has put on the Twisted Wood, the magics of the Fae have started to diminish, which is why they're able to search our woods now for all these ancient relics. These golems aren't your normal constructs, not anything that you have ever seen on the material plane. They're made of structural components that are only found on the Feywild, which, as you probably could have already guessed, are extremely strong compared to almost every substance found on the material plane. Not to mention, the golems, once created, the ones that bind to the golem have complete and utter control of it. There's no way to wrestle control from the creator, essentially. They are able to tear through even the strongest of fortresses due to their magical natures of the Fae. So the Titanians searching for these is a bad sign already. But if the Titanians were to find these and then use their own craftsmanship to make them, then I fear for this world.
That is something we should be worried about, of course.
Yes, this does
Yes.
not bode well.
She
Well,
barks
then.
at you and says, "Oh, definitely not."
Oh,
But
yeah, I keep.
luckily, and she says this in her normal voice, but luckily, if they do find the golem, the magics of the Fae aren't something that any normal human would be able to comprehend right away. I imagine that if they find the golem and are able to either transport a portion of it or study it for long enough, it will still take quite a few months before they're able to even start thinking about construction of their own. Granted, if they're being helped by somebody, or something like that, for whatever reason,
Like a
that
demon
might.
lord.
Well, it is alarming that they are not under attack from a demon lord, but demon lords don't. Their magic is quite different. It's more sinister than Fey magic. I don't believe that it would mix well in a sense of reviving the golem. And if it did, then it would only be for a short while before the magics end up making some sort of reaction and failing. But if perhaps there are evil Fae out there, and if somehow the evil Fae have made a deal, which Fae love to make deals, well, the timeline could be accelerated by quite a bit if they do find it. And I assume, based on their numbers, they will.
Hmm. Well then.
Do you
Now,
know
if we
where it
don't have.
is?
She shakes her head. I was not really within the know of such things. I tend to not meddle too much in the affairs of the material plane unless they directly require me so. And their war did not seek my attention at all.
Do you think Kracho would know?
I would think that if Cratio didn't know, then we need a new archdruid of the forest. Or, my bad, a Baelnorn of the forest.
Yes, I believe that that would be the only option would be to ask him. Because we'll have to figure out what we should do if we were to find it first.
Yes, and I understand that you all tried to communicate with him to no avail, so I took it upon myself to reach out, and I also did not get a response. The only thing I could think of is that he possibly left the forest, and he has not done that in a couple thousand years. So if he did that, then there's something that he is seeking out there that, if he is able to find it, might be able to turn the tide in our favor.
Hmm. Well, I guess we'll have to let him do what he does. Our only alternative objective now is to close that portal. That way, it'll be one less threat.
Yes. Now, here's a question. When you do inevitably find the golem, what do you intend to do? You couldn't possibly be thinking about taking on all those Titanian soldiers, and this town is in no way, shape, or form ready for such a combat. It doesn't even have an elder.
Right. Yeah, honestly, Opal, I have no clue what we do. I mean, one option would be destroy it, but I know just how strong it could be. And another question: would it is it self-working? Like, does it work on its own, or does it need to be controlled?
Once it's, you know how Warforged work, and she sort of points towards Balrin. They have their own sort of sentience. These constructs, these Fey golems, are a lesser version in terms of the sentience. They don't do as they please, but they have a sort of connection, a telepathic link, if you will, to their controller. And the controller doesn't even have to mutter a word, it just thinks, and the golem will do.
Well,
So, if you take out the controller, though, the golem essentially will continue to do as its last request, and will follow up on past request of the controller until someone new takes control.
hmm. Now, are there any weaknesses that we should know of, like a heart of something like that we could target?
Mm, not necessarily, but there is, just like the Warforged, a sort of core to it, but it is heavily protected from the materials from the Feywild, but she goes behind her counter and starts searching through bottles and stuff like that. She brings out this heavy lead box. I have been keeping supplies for things like this just in case. And as she opens it up, you can see the dust that has collected on the lid sort of like poof into air. And this is my only workable solution. Unfortunately, I've not come across the materials, as I have not been back to the Feywild in quite some time. But this, and she pulls out a little vial of this sort of red dust. If you pour this onto the core, it will essentially kill all the Fey magic and return it to its mundane counterpart of the world that it, or the plane that it currently is in. And since it's made out of a special marble of the Feywild, it will turn to a pile of rocks.
Hmm. Well then,
I do
is it
not
okay if we take?
I do not believe that you will be fighting the golem as much as you will be fighting those that are looking for it, though. If they are able to control it, then we are in much bigger trouble than we previously thought.
Right. That's what Arenstar was saying. Well then, is it okay for us to take this just in case?
Yes, it was my intention to hand it over to you. I do know, though, that there are many, or not many, there's probably at least 5 of these golems within the Twisted Wood. More than likely, they have a lead on a single one of them. So I would anticipate that if you do destroy this one, we will need to think of another course of action to try to find and destroy the other ones, unless they think that this is the only one in existence, in which case, mission completed. But if it's not the case, well, we might have to take a trip to the Feywild. If that interests you, of course.
Hmm. That might be our only option. The sooner the better. What do you guys think?
I don't know much about the Feywild. It sounds dangerous. Would you be our guide?
Depending on, I would get you there for sure, and I could lead you to a few friends of mine, but ultimately my place is here now. I have not been back to the Feywild in a couple centuries, I believe.
How does time progress there? Does it progress slower there than here, or does it progress
It all
relatively normal?
depends. You roll a D100 and consult the charts. I'm just joking. Typically, every portal opened up to a different plane of existence, and this goes for every plane of existence, whether you purposefully fall into a portal or not. What happens is it's a case-by-case thing. Sometimes no time passes at all. You may feel like you've been in the Feywild for years, but you come back to the exact same point in time, back to the material plane. Other cases, you go back and you're only gone for a matter of minutes, and you come back and years have passed. It's chaotic. But the denizens of the Feywild, the powerful ones, I should say, if you are able to curry their favor, you could have them manipulate this time and possibly make your own decision of how you want it to go.
Interesting. I've heard of some stories about portal passage and different dimensions. My first time hearing from someone who's actually experienced it themselves.
True. It is different for every portal. So, you could open up one portal or find a portal that has been opened for multiple uses, go through it once, and the next time you go through it, time will change completely differently. It is the way of the Fae to be chaotic in such nature, but it's also, I guess it has to do with the progress of how all the planes sort of are connected together. Something jumbles up in it. It's quite strange, honestly, and I can't say that I ever really bothered to try to research to manipulate it myself.
Indeed. Okay. Well, we have two options, guys. We can close that portal, or we can head to the Feywild with Opal. Either way will benefit one another.
We are not ready to go to the Feywild yet. We got to find that golem first.
Yeah, you're skipping a lot of steps there, buddy.
But I am thinking about the urgency of the matter. This could mean the end of the world, honestly.
Yes, but if you are to go to the Feywild right now, and you're the only one with that glass vial, and you come back and months pass and now they have control of multiple golems because you were gone, if you wish to go that route, by all means, but I would call you stupid for trying.
Yeah, I'm brash, but I'm not that brash. Alright, so we have to locate the
She
golem.
begins to bark, and she goes, "That literally made no sense, what he just said."
I laugh
Get
like
used to it after a while.
I think it's actually Snoopy and Peanuts that goes.
Yeah, it is.
I laugh like that.
Alright, so we have two choices. We could locate the golem, however long it takes them to do that, or we can go ahead and close that portal. Either way, I need you guys' support.
I'll let you guys talk about that real quick. I need to use the bathroom.
I'm kind of leaning towards we should close that portal because I'm going to mention this now that the DM's not here.
He's gonna rewatch.
If we get messed with by Strahd while we're looking for a golem, yikes.
Yes, that's not gonna be a good idea or a good time.
I think we need to narrow down our enemies. We don't even know who one of them is. We just keep
And
making more, and we haven't dealt with our first one.
Right. And Sherrod
right,
can come in at any time.
exactly. Okay, so I guess that may be the plan. We need to go ahead and close that portal. And since we took out that Spriggan, we shouldn't have any problems getting right back through the wild.
True. Minus the Titanian army.
Yes, I'm honestly worried about that portal because of the Titanian army.
Yeah, me too.
Either way, it's like a flip of a coin. One one is a lose and the other could be a lose worse.
Yes. Pretty scary stuff.
All right.
Right, I'm
So
back.
I guess we need to prepare and then we'll well, do we all need rest or are we all good to make that trip?
I want to ask Opal something.
Go for it.
Just out of curiosity, you know where I can find some mistletoes around here?
Hmm. Yes, it grows typically in places where Eladrin first fall in love with each other. You should be able to find it in most of the outside of folks' homes around here.
You must really like that redhead.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
I'm like listening to Snoopy say that and I'm like, redhead. What about the redhead?
A lover's quarrel.
Hmm.
I shouldn't get into gossip. It's a big reason why I left my sisters in the first place. Too much gossip.
You seem like not a gossiping type as well. Right? Straight to the point. Needing the facts. I like that.
Yes, but like I've already told you, I'm much too old for you to handle, and she winks at you.
All right. Hey, don't you think it's time you to go back to human form, Quinn? Me not being able to understand you, even as a wolf. That's kind of disturbing to me.
Oh yeah, about that.
And
And
So
besides,
I'm a
I'm tired of
transform. I'm a transform out of my state, out of being a wolf. But I'm still doing that
okay,
barking noise, thinking I'm.
okay.
and,
Yeah, as he's
and
talking
besides,
shit, he's yeah, and man, you better shut the hell up. I don't know what he's actually saying as he's coming out of his form though.
and besides, while you're sitting down, I'm getting tired of seeing your Christmas light penis.
What? What?
That's Snoopy.
Hey, hey, you didn't know you had a Christmas light penis when you were in that form?
I walk out.
Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay.
Hey, I mean, I just tell them what I saw. I mean, hey, nice set of testicles on you. You impress a nice female wolf. Anyways, Opal.
Everyone just like side eyeing. Right. Goopy goes back
Is it-
into his vial.
As he says that, I'm going to hold on. Let me make sure I can do. Give
I'm
me a
interested.
second.
I have an idea of what you might be trying to do.
You already
Maybe.
know. what? What is?
Is it a cantrip of yours?
Yep.
Yep, it works. What smell do you want?
I want him to smell the dankest odor that you could possibly do.
Okay. So as Quinn is walking out and as Saberwolf is talking all this smack, Quinn starts saying something and he turns around and all of a sudden, right up your nostrils, you smell it's a mixture of your own pus with skunk and some sort of like dead moldy mushrooms. And it is absolutely awful.
What in the hell
Make
is
sure
that?
that I get to collect that, please.
Oh, oh, what the hell is that? What's that smell? Quinn! Oh, while I'm holding my nose. Oh, thank you for the information.
I'm
if
over
we
there.
need anything else, we'll come back. As I'm like getting ready to
Yes.
like run out.
And you all be safe regardless of what you do. I will be waiting, and I can't wait to hear about it.
I'm like, as I'm coming out, I'm like shaking my head, like fervently shaking my head, like I'm trying to like snap out of whatever smell I'm. You know what? I should give you a wedgie.
Oh, jeez.
From a luchador, that would suck.
You're about to get yeeted across this town.
But because I was so rude, I'll let it pass for now. But don't piss me off later. On the next downtime, you might get it when you least expect it. An atomic one too. I'll make sure you're hanging from a tree.
Atomic wedgie. Oh no.
Noted.
Goopy and Snoopy.
All right. Well, we got the Goopy. So now let's go ahead and get the Snoopy and head over towards that portal and take a poopy. Yeah, you get it? Yeah.
Should have taken
Oh.
advantage and made it a bird goop and called it Woodstock. But you know what? That's too meta.
Can I?
I mean,
Can I
it
ro-
can be a small creature, so you could make it into a it wouldn't have the ability to fly, but it could look like Woodstock.
Okay. I'm going to keep it as Goopy for now. I really like just Goopy and Snoopy.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. Goopy and Snoopy.
You're having
running
fun, like,
around.
making them walk around. Oh, man.
Guess what my friends did? The first thing they did, they
Let's
went
hear it.
ahead and did one of these,
Oh, yeah.
and one of these. This is all they did.
Yup. Yeah, Squidward.
Yeah.
Roll 20 worked
Upside
out for
down.
y'all, though.
Yeah, it just was not close to clean as it is with you, obviously. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time, but yeah, we functioned. It was way better than Skype or like not playing at all, so it's fun.
Yeah, that all theater of mind. Theater
I
of mind
have a-
sessions are meant for the car and long road trips.
Yes. I have a really cool reveal that of the golden dragon. Nicole painted this golden dragon, and it's really cool. And I'm not going to be able to reveal it with the mini, unfortunately. I don't.
Dang. If you need a really cool picture, I have one.
Okay. I might take that.
Actually, I need to see how much art in terms of gigs I have. Give me a second. I'm curious. But
So, yeah,
anyway,
he's,
where are we headed?
headed towards the portal.
I
Towards
wanted
the
to see if I
portal.
could find the mistletoe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, we have to wait. We're gonna go all the way through the forest before you can.
Okay. So as
Suck it,
Quinn is
Joe.
looking around for the mistletoe, just as Opal said, you could typically find it wherever lovers first meet. Um, you go up to a couple of the houses that have families, and outside some of their windows, you can see the mistletoe. So as you go up to pick it, go ahead and roll me a perception check, please. I have 12.9 gigabytes of pictures. I have 11,782 files of photos for NPCs, monsters, maps. I've been collecting.
Yeah.
So as you go up to pick the mistletoe, Quinn, you get like right next to the window, and you're able to see inside as it's lit up pretty well. But as you pick the mistletoe, the folks inside don't seem to notice you, but you're able to see an Eladrin woman who's got a bloated stomach, and she's currently sort of rubbing it right now. And there's a father that comes in and sort of rubs it with her, and they put their foreheads together in this like very like cliche like lovey-dovey sort of like moment. And then you see two little girls come up, and they also put their hand on it, and they all just smile together. Um, just very loving image that you see as you pick this mistletoe.
Oh,
Something
just
that
gay.
Quinn will probably look at every time and be like, "Oh wow," and tear up or something.
Gay.
How many is it mistletoe?
You'd be able to get like 4 sprigs from this one house.
Nice. I'm gonna take all 4.
Okay. Okay.
Bless you, puppy. Bless you, puppy.
So I'll meet back up with the party.
Alrighty. And then
Yeah. So
you guys are
one
setting
thing
out
I
for the
noticed.
portal.
Oh,
Go ahead though, Gerald.
no, I was just gonna cast Goodberry for them because we haven't
Okay.
really.
Bless you.
Cool.
Can
So
you-
you cast
can you guys
Goodberry,
hear
everyone
Charlie
eats it.
sneezing?
I didn't hear. No,
Oh.
I'm listening now.
She stops.
I
She
don't
was
think it was
sneezing.
loud enough. What a cute pup.
I come
Where's
over here
my
and
cute
look
pup?
at Donovan.
Okay, Donovan is standing outside of the inn. Essentially, he looks like he's keeping guard.
And I give him a salute and keep moving.
He stiffens up and salutes back to you. Pleasure, Saberwolf.
Alright. And I head towards. I don't know where to head, honestly. Yeah, I just go wherever Snoopy.
Northwest.
Is the now is the school still open right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna head towards the school and peek my head in.
Okay, so the school's open, and currently all the children are reading quietly to themselves as the teacher is sort of like using her magic and writing stuff down in her own journal. Give me 1 second.
I'll tell you what. I should make a character and give him
Tell you.
the Hank Hill voice.
Oh,
Bo!
I have a narrow urethra.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna roll this D100.
But Dad,
Ingrid says
what
hello.
if someone wants their steak well done?
Ingrid!
Unfortunately,
What the
she had
fuck?
already walked out, but message received. Ingrid
But
man.
Dad,
Brady man.
Alright.
puppy chill. Good.
Okay. So, as you guys are leaving the town, or wait, yeah, what were you doing at the schoolhouse? My bad.
I do like a quick little to the teacher and just give her a quick wave.
And she looks up from what she was doing, and she waves and smiles back at you.
Alright, and then I just head out.
Cool. So as you guys leave, what pace do you make to get to the portal? You have a general idea of where it is. Corwin, before he was killed, was able to help you sort of discern exactly where you needed to go.
I would say normal.
Normal.
Bless you.
Okay. As you guys start to leave and you get about 30 minutes out, you know you got a couple hours left before you actually get there. Go ahead and roll me perception checks, please.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Oops. Well, add 8 instead of. So, if it's based on hearing, sight, it's 19.
Okay.
No, yes, 19. If not, then it's 10.
All right. So, let's see. All right. So as you guys are walking, since you have to go northeast to get to the portal location, at least northeast of your current location, but you're going more eastward in general sense. You guys notice that as you guys get closer and closer to where the portal should be, you notice a lot of almost kind of like with the Spriggan, how the wood was changed, except for it's not like the trees themselves aren't changing in any way, shape, or form. It's a feeling you get. You get this sort of light feeling of dread, like somebody's watching you. As you're
Is it
moving through
like-
the
oh, sorry.
forest. No, go ahead.
Is it like the feeling we had the whole time we were in Barovia?
Exactly.
Great.
So as you're moving through, you just feel like you're constantly being watched. You feel like you're being surveyed. You feel like you're being followed. As you're like sort of looking around for the portal, you swear that you end up seeing like shadowy figures like staring at you, but the moment you blink, they're gone. At one point, you guys go to investigate, and you're like, "There's no way someone could have been here and then left." So what's going on? But no one's around. The air, as you start to get closer and closer, you can feel the air getting a little bit cooler, and then it starts to get a little chillier, and then finally, as you're getting closer, you start to smell a very familiar stench of death.
Hey, do
As you
any of
guys,
us... Oh,
go ahead.
do any of us know how to close a portal?
Absolutely not.
I think we might have forgot that detail.
Well, we about to be in a bit of a pickle here, aren't we?
I mean, we can always turn back, right?
Indeed. And waste more time. Shit. Well, might have no choice but to go back.
Hey,
Wish we had.
Quinn, do you have any ways to send messages with like the forest? You're super in tune with it. Like, is there a way to get messages back and forth between people? We could talk.
Um, yeah, but I don't know. Because I don't really have the proper things to do it, if that makes any sense.
Do you think do you think we can figure this one out? Like we usually do, or should we? Boy. Good job, guys.
Mm,
Give me a sec.
Balrin or Vikavor? Any ideas?
Balrin kind of just shakes his head and he's like, I mean, I can only really like do things for our own benefit. I've never even thought about how to close a portal. And Vikavor goes, well, I mean, my master, I guess, opened it, and I'm nowhere near as powerful as he is, so I highly doubt that I've got anything. Guess we'll just have to wing it. And he kind
Does
of
any
shrugs. Maybe
does
fireball?
anybody Fireball's a good one. Does anybody have a spell that can undo spells?
Hmm.
only
Brady, is there any animals around?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Please be low. That's not low enough. Besides Snoopy, there is an owl that's kind of been like observing you guys from a distance. Just as you guys are passing, it doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that you're near it, but you're like within 30 feet of it.
I want to try to, I guess, beckon it so I can kind of.
All right, roll a animal handling check.
Nice.
So
Roll.
you sort of like you reach out your hand and then flip it over, and the owl sees this and flies on over and lands on it and kind of like looks at you with its big ass eyes, and it does that thing where it bobs its head in like a clockwise form. Oh, oh, oh.
And then I guess with my, second level. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to it and ask it, have you seen any, or how long have you been here? You seen somebody open this thing before?
What? What?
The owl looks at you and it goes, yes, few weeks have passed, maybe. There was a man, big hat on head, was testing things in location. Open portal, closed portal, opened portal, closed portal. Opened portal, forgot to close portal. Now, creatures, out of portal. Darkness, out portal. Home,
Oh my.
in fear. Trees, different. Wind, chilly. Sky, eerie. Evil, forest portal.
Yeah. This is not bode well, I appreciate that. And also, with that, can I ask it to do something?
Sure. Doesn't mean it will, though.
Yeah. Um. So I have I guess a favor to ask you. I mean,
Ooh.
we're trying to close the portal. So if you could relay a message for me, I mean, if you could do it, the sooner we could close the portal for you.
Ooh. Who? Who? Message who?
All right. I need you to go back to the city, and I need you to speak with this woman named Opal and see if she knows how to close this thing for us. And I just direct him towards the city and where he needs to go, and describe what Opal
He
looks like.
perches up and he looks around. Opal, good friend. Me no. But
Oh,
me hungry.
um, I
Me have chicks to feed. Almost hunting time.
hmm. Well, I got something for you. Do you like berries?
Who? Berries good. Taste. Sweet.
Nice. So I'm gonna cast good berry again.
You should still have some left over, actually.
Oh, okay.
When you
Well,
cast
yeah.
them, they last for 24 hours, and you gave one to 4 people, so you have 6 left over.
Okay. So how many do you think you'll need?
6.
Oh, well, here you go.
Who?
But only when you
Who?
come back.
Who? It kind of ruffles its
Huh.
feathers.
I'll give you half
Chick's
now,
hungry
and then I'll
now.
give you the rest. I'll give you half now, half when you come back with the answer.
Who? How does mother pick favorite children to eat?
God, you're really good at this. All right, here you go.
Who? We'll get Opal for you, but feed first. And then it, I guess, digs its talons and pokes each one of them. And it's like it's got a hold on them, and it starts to flutter away back to its home. And as it does, it very carefully lands with one foot, and it starts to use its beak to get rid of the berries and roll them into the nest. And you can see these little owlets as they come out, and the owl starts to munch down on the good berries and regurgitate it into the little babies' mouths. It takes probably about 5 minutes for it to feed its young, and then you can hear as it looks at you and starts to fly towards Lithrius.
Appreciate it. In I guess in owl language.
Okay.
I feel like me and Vikavor and Balrin, we're all just like looking back and forth at each other, like,
What the fuck?
Well then, yeah.
So did my we good?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I
Did
was just
the
kind of.
owl know how to close a port?
No, the owl did not close a portal, but um, good thing he was very familiar with Opal, so I asked it to get Opal for us, or at least to try to help us do this. But what he, what it did let me know, and then I just relay what the owl said to me about the portal.
That's a
Okay.
very wise owl.
Like no kidding, I couldn't even strike a deal with the thing.
Well,
Damn.
well, if all else failed, if we weren't able to get that owl to do anything, I mean, I could very well volunteer myself and just run back all canine like to go meet up Opal myself.
Yeah, but I'm kind of worried. Like the owl said, since this portal's been here, since the forest has been different, I can kind of feel it myself too. So, a lot of people have been in and out of this thing. Well, actually, one person has been in and out of this thing, and apparently just like it said, left it open. But then all manner of other things started to come out. So, uh, I don't know. I feel obligated. I want to know what's going on. And then on top of that, the owl's chicks are up there. We don't want nothing to happen to them.
You
They
have a
lick my
point.
lips.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
All right. I do like a cocky flick towards my nose, and I walk towards the tree where the nest is. I guess I'll
Okay.
perch myself here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a position somewhere like where we can see the portal, but I'm like hiding, I guess.
Okay. So as you guys, start to sort of close in, you notice a couple things as you're looking through the trees. One, you do see the big rock formation that's in the middle of this sort of clearing, but you see these shambling figures sort of walking around aimlessly around the stone. Um, at the northern portion of the stone, you see this faint purple glow on the ground, and you can sort of like think of how like when you look, like you see a mirage. You know what I mean? Like how you see a mirage at the horizon. It kind of looks like that, but it's probably about Saberwolf's height, a little bit taller than that. That's how far up that little mirage goes. So it's almost like you're looking through like steam or something like that, and it's just kind of very wavy and um, not very uniform in movement, anything like that. As you're looking in this location, those figures, they keep moving around, and eventually they kind of stop and they look around, and then they turn around and start walking again aimlessly. Then uh, almost in an instant, you see where the portal is. You see it kind of shimmer really fast, and then a figure walks out of it. And this figure walks out and has a long sword, or it's wielding a long sword, and it kind of looks around its area and starts to sniff the air a little bit, and just kind of looks around. It then moves towards the rock and hops on top of it and just kind of starts to survey the area. You guys are in the top right of the map. This is the creature that just walked out of the portal. And these are the creatures that are kind of just walking around aimlessly that you see.
Have you guys seen Watchmen?
Yes.
He's wearing that superhero costume with the noose around his neck.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, is that? Huh, I'll have to go back and look at that. That's dope. As you guys are looking around and watching this, you can hear in the distance, you can hear the hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. And as that hoo-hoo comes by, this creature on top of the rock kind of looks over in that direction, looks back at the portal, hops down, picks into its pocket, and it tosses something into the portal. And the moment that it tosses this thing, you can't really tell from this distance because of how small it is. You see an arm come out of the portal and grab it. And as it does, the creature goes back up, grabs the arm, and starts to pull. And as it's pulling, eventually you see more of the arm come out. Then you see a leg, and then you see more. And then you hear a familiar voice. Ah, so this is the material plane. And the stench, so invigorating. But what's that? As he starts to sniff the air, he starts to point in y'all's direction very slowly. Is that what I think it is? And he's looking in y'all's direction, but he doesn't seem to see you just yet, but you do see him lick his lips. I think I know where to go. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Son of a bitch.
One more time for the ladies.
We need
Son
to
of
set
a
some.
bitch.
Need to set some claymores.
Son of a bitch.
So I'm gonna end my stream real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Very fun way to end the session with shit about to hit the fan. But couldn't let Strahd just be left hanging. Like Strahd is a dope ass villain. So they're gonna get to fight him. And I've got plans for it. Obviously, it's going to be a very tough battle just for him being there, but with the other creatures that are around, I've got ideas for how this is all going to play out. But we'll see. Anyway, until we play next time, we'll see you later. Peace.